Thanks for tuning in today. So I decided to try the what I'm going to call the Septuagint challenge. I'm not sure if Daryl Burling had actually used that term or not, but he had mentioned that International Septuagint Day is coming up on the 8th of February. So in preparation for this, he's encouraged as many people who want to start reading the Septuagint to do so. And I'm excited to kind of get into this. And so I was just glancing at it last night, and I found already just a small insight. It's not huge, but I'm going to share that with you in this video. But I want to share with you the two reasons why I'm excited about maybe starting to read the Greek New Testament. I normally start my mornings reading out of my English Bible, and then I move into my Greek New Testament. But I'm thinking about starting, and I started this morning, starting out with the Septuagint. And the two reasons I want to do this is, one, the enormous importance of the Septuagint for the life of the early church. And that's not just the earliest church, right? Because the apostles are quoting from this. There's quotations in the New Testament from the Septuagint. That in itself is hugely important. It's hard to overestimate the importance of that. We don't want to overstate it and say that makes the Septuagint more important than the Hebrew text. I'm not saying that. But you've maybe heard the joke about the deacon who said, if the King James Version is good enough for the Apostle Paul, it's good enough for me. Well, obviously the King James Version didn't exist in the early church, and Paul never read it, but he did read the Septuagint. And if the Septuagint was good enough for the apostles, it's certainly something that I want to get my hands on and kind of dig into. So the importance for the early church, and then the next generation after the early church, they had this high esteem, this high value on the Septuagint. And in fact, some of them put it on par, I think mistakenly, but put it on par with the Hebrew Bible. But it had this huge impact for the early church. In fact, some of them valued it over the Hebrew Bible. But again, I think that was a mistake, but nevertheless, huge value placed on the Septuagint. If you really want to understand the New Testament and get a depth for the quotations and the allusions, obviously a grasp of the Septuagint, a familiarity with the Septuagint is going to be important. So I'm eager for that reason. But secondly, I'm excited about this because I think it's going to help enrich my knowledge of biblical Greek, Koine Greek, so that I can understand the New Testament better, just in understanding the language better. So those are my two reasons why I'm excited about this. And this morning, as I was reading, and I've been reading out of this Septuagint, which is just a beautifully done edition. If you want to see a full review of this, let me know in the comment section. Daryl had done a little brief review in his video encouraging us to start reading out of the Septuagint. But if you want to see a full review of this, let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to do that. So I lost my train of thought for just a second. So I was reading this this morning, and I just noticed this. I was used to the King James Version, how it did John chapter 1, and I started reading in the book of Genesis. So let's see. Let's do it this way. Sure, you can hear my kids excited in the background there. Sorry about that. But I was used to, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This was in the beginning with God. All things through Him, and what I was used to seeing, all things were made by Him. In the Greek text here, you might translate it more literally, all things through Him became, and without Him became nothing, or not one that has become. And this was neat because that word that the King James Version has typically translated as made, and that's the translation that I was familiar with, and maybe more literally translated became. Guess what? That same word is used when God says, let there be light, or let there be whatever, let there be light, let there be, firmament in the midst of the heavens, or something like that, that word let it be is the same root word that John uses. So there's a lot of verbal allusions, not least of which in the beginning, in both Genesis 1 and John 1. But even when John says that nothing came into being without the Word, there's a direct allusion to Genesis 1 when God says, let there be, and as we translate in English, and there was, or in the Septuagint, and there became. So, let there be light, let there be light, and light became. So anyways, I just thought it was really neat how John makes these connections in the book of Genesis, and if you're reading it in if you're reading it in the Septuagint, if you're familiar with the Greek form of this Old Testament, then you would have picked up on some of these allusions. This is just one, and I think it's just a tip of the iceberg. I'm excited to dig in a little bit deeper. So thanks today. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm excited to get into this, and let me know in the comment section. I wonder how many other people are taking up this challenge as well. So we'll see you on the next video.